8:56 this morning, we're turning our attention to the Republic of Ireland versus Greece tonight in Tallaght Stadium. Méabh de Burca is with us. Méabh, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. All good now.
We were not very good in the first half. Katie McCabe comes on in the second half and we're absolutely brilliant. No Katie McCabe tonight. So what does that mean?
Yeah, hard to call really, but hopefully we can bring that energy and positivity that we did have in the second half. I think Marissa Shiva coming on at half time too just kind of brought a new energy going forward. And yeah, definitely a kind of tale of two halves nearly on Friday. But I think we just kind of had patience in the first half and it just wasn't working out in the final third. So hopefully you can bring that from the start tonight.
We saw the full Katie McCabe package in half the time, I think, on Friday, because she comes on the pitch, gets a free kick early on, which goes narrowly over, but it's definitely setting the stall out. Then she gets, you could argue, a needless booking or a silly booking, which rules her out of tonight's game. But then she's the catalyst for the victory. So I think we said all we wanted to say about Katie McCabe. What we know about McCabe. I mean, Denise O'Sullivan has already alluded to the fact that there is going to be a life beyond the two of them this week. And that does bring me to the other player that Ger was referring to earlier in his intro, Marissa Shiva, and how the game changed. Why does Shiva not start games? I'm curious about, is there a blind spot in the perception of Shiva? Because obviously the coaches know her very well.
Yeah, I think she did under Carla. She got a good chance the other two games too, but definitely, yeah, she's been seen as an impact player. It's hard to know. Sometimes players are better when they're sprung off the bench, just with that energy. They can affect the defenses a bit more. But I think the last night they were trying something different. Or last afternoon it was, with Toland and Rusha, Little John in midfield, they did definitely go with a more defensive lineup. You could see potentially, maybe you could question why didn't she start instead of Lucy Quinn, but Lucy Quinn seems to be in favour with Carla Ward and even early on, and in three games she just seemed to have kind of players she's, I suppose, swaying towards, which like any manager does, they do tend to have their opinions on players, and Lucy Quinn is definitely in favour over Shiva these days.
Did the game change purely and primarily because of those two substitutes? So it was McCabe on for Tyler Toland and Megan Campbell made way for Marissa Shiva? Or was it more than that? Was there a differentiation in the structure second half?
No, it seemed to be the same structure-wise, but definitely they just kind of brought a bit more of, I think, aggression and intensity. But I think that might have happened anyway. There was probably a bit of, nervousness nearly in that first half, because they had two games where they were, relatively poor. Like the Turkey game, they did get away with the 3 points, but it wasn't really, it was very underwhelming. And then I think they were probably very conscious of not conceding as well in that first half. And I think that was what was vital, although obviously we couldn't make as many chances and goal scoring chances as we would have liked in the first half. I think they just were patient. And then I'd say probably even if the subs didn't come on, the game might have swayed in Ireland's favour. They definitely were the fitter and more energetic team in that second half.
Would you keep the same back four tonight? So Megan Campbell comes back or starts the game again after being hooked at half time. You'll have Aoife Mannion right back and Anna Panton and the very impressive Jessie Sapin, who's only 20. You don't often forget that. Are you happy enough with that back four?
I am, yeah. I think they did pretty well. It's hard to know maybe would Heather Payne come into it or not. She's available
back again, yeah.
Tonight, yeah. But maybe they'd see her maybe operating on the right side. It depends. I thought Mannion did pretty good getting up the pitch, particularly. She did a lot of like underlapping runs, whereas Megan Campbell then tended to stay outside to keep the width on the left, because with the inverted winger, Lucy Quinn tucking in, kind of Megan could go outside, but didn't probably get as forward as much maybe as we would have liked in the first half. But again, Megan plays left side of centre back with her club, so she probably wouldn't be used of getting up the pitch that much as well, and she is managing her minutes too.
What we do at centre forward tonight, so there's no Ciara Carusa, of course, and Carusa kind of is the one striker that we can really back these days, that she can hold the ball up, and she's a goal threat, which we saw, of course, in full flow on Friday. So do you start Amber Barrett for her 51st cap? Does she come into the side to a lovely finish for the fourth goal on Friday? Or do you go for Cork's Saoirse Noonan? What do you think?
I think Amber has to start, really. I think she deserves it. Like she's been around that squad, yeah, like I said, 50 caps at this stage, and so many of those have just been, off the bench, and she's managed to get 8 goals in that time too. So I think Carla will probably start her. I imagine we might see Saoirse Noonan off the bench. Carla Ward spoke about her during the week as well, or this in the press conference yesterday, saying how that she wasn't pressing in training. I don't think she'll put her in from the start, but who knows? There's definitely options up there.
There's a lot actually to like about the makeup of the side, because you have captains in there in abundance, Maeve. Like Katie McCabe's unavailable, but you have Denise O'Sullivan wearing the armband tonight. But Tyler Tolan captains Blackburn, and Anna Patton captains Aston Villa as well. So there are a load of leaders there, and yet I guess maybe is it the right word? Trust has gone out a bit because of the Slovenia match and what happened there. That we're not entirely 100% convinced that we're going to get a result again tonight, despite what we did against Greece on Friday. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to look at it. We're after winning 4-0 and we still think it could be a shaky game tonight. We just don't know what we're going to get really. And hopefully, when we look back in the group, that the 4-0 loss away to Slovenia will just have been a blip on the road, and we won't even maybe come into conversations again, or it might be the making of the team as well. And hopefully that'll be the case. And like you said, stacked with leaders throughout the team. Obviously there is a lot of young girls as well, but even Courtney in goal as well has really proved her worth, and is kind of, you could hear her the last night talking throughout the game. And like you said, Anna Patton there as well. She's been solid in that centre back role alongside Stapleton, who, like you said, was really good the last night. And I think the leaders there, they just need to stand up. And I was missing that in the away game to Slovenia, but I think hopefully we've turned a corner. And I think it'd be really nice to put a 90-minute performance in now. That's the one thing that has been missing. The 45 was brilliant, and it really was. They were playing. It was great to see. They just seemed to play with such freedom and confidence in the second half, and hopefully that can come in across the 90 minutes tonight.
Is it confidence as opposed to hope that maybe that corner has been turned?
It is hard to know, but they did say how good in particular this camp has been, in terms of the training and everything. And it's hard when the first camp is a competitive camp for a manager. I think they're very limited in what they can do and what kind of, they're trying to get information across, but they don't want to overload the players either, and they can't really try out many things either, just because with points at stake. So I think I think it is confidence maybe that the corner has been turned.
Give us your prediction, Maeve.
Well, I wasn't right the last night. I was right with the win, so I definitely think 3 points, and I'm going to go for 3-0 tonight.
Well, we'd take a good performance, and hopefully the goals will follow. Great to have you with us, Maeve. Enjoy the game. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks a million.
Méabh de Burca giving us some thoughts ahead of that game tonight, which is at Tala. If you want to get in touch